कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
जय प्रभुपद, जय प्रभुपद, प्रभुपद शिल प्रभुपद।
जय प्रभुपाद, जय प्रभुपाद, जय प्रभुपाद, श्रील प्रभुपाद।
निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल।
निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल।
जय प्रभुपद, जय प्रभुपद, प्रभुपद शिल प्रभुपद।
जय प्रभुपाद, जय प्रभुपाद, जय प्रभुपाद, श्रील प्रभुपाद।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यास ततो जाय मुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टुकी। शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः अर्ध्यन्तस्तो हि अभद्राणि विदनोति सुहृत्सताम्। Hare Krishna. So today we are reading very important verse. Actually, this verse is just from next verse tomorrow 33, 29, 33, 34, 35, and 36. They are the seed verses. And seed verses means these four verses were spoken by Lord Krishna to Brahmaji. And Brahmaji, with those four seed verses, he expanded them to 18,000 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. And 18,000 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam is for this Earth planet, but there is Bhagavatam which is in other planets, other universes, which may be much more bigger than this, because in this material world, people are so much attached to the Maya that they cannot understand. So Brahmaji actually expanded till only took to 18,000 sloka, not more than that. I heard that in some universes there is Srimad Bhagavatam which has 100,000 verses, something like that. So it's very hard to say how many verses are in which universe, but it is presumed like that. So I will read the verse and then you please recite. यावना अहम यथा भावो,
यावनाहं यथा भावो,
यदरूप गुणकर्मकः,
यदरूपगुणकर्मकः,
तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
अस्तु ते मद अनुग्रह।
अस्तु ते मद अनुग्रहात्।
यावनः यावन् अहं यथा भावो,
यावान् अहं यथा भावो,
यदरूप गुणकर्मकः,
यदरूपगुणकर्मकः,
तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
अस्तु ते मद अनुग्रहात्।
अस्तु ते मद अनुग्रहात्।
यथा न यावन्नहं यथा भावो,
यावान् अहं यथा भावो,
यद्रूप गुणकर्मकः,
यद्रूपगुणकर्मकः,
तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
अस्तु ते मद अनुगृहात्।
अस्तु ते मद अनुग्रहात्। यावान् अहं यथा भावो,
यावन्नहं यथा भावो,
यद्रूपगुणकर्मकः,
यद्रूप गुणकर्मकः,
तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
अस्तु ते मद अनुग्रहात्।
अस्तु ते मदनुग्रहात्।
यावानहं यथा भावो,
yavan yatham bhavo yadarupa gunakarmaka
तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
अस्तु
अस्तु
ते
ते
मद अनुग्रहात् यावन्
अहं यथा
भावो
भावो
यद्रूप गुणकर्मकः तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम् अस्तु ते मद अनुग्रहात् यावानहं यथा भावो यद्रूप गुणकर्मकः
तथैव
तथैव
तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
तत्त्वविज्ञानम्
अस्तु
तु
ते
ते
मद
मद
अनुग्रहात्.
अनुग्रहात्. So I will read the word-to-word translation. Yavan,
Yavan,
as I am in eternal form.
as I am in eternal form.
Aham,
Aham,
myself.
myself.
Yatha,
Yatha,
as much as.
much as.
Bhava,
Bhava,
transcendental existence.
transcendental existence.
Yat,
Yet,
those.
those.
Rupa,
Rupa,
various forms and colors.
various forms and colors.
Guna,
Guna,
qualities.
qualities.
Karmakaha,
Karmakaha,
activities.
activities.
Tatha,
Tatha,
so and so.
so and so.
Eva, certainly.
Certainly.
Tattva Vijnanam,
Tattva Vijnanam,
factual realization.
factual realization.
Astu,
Astu,
let it be.
let it be.
Te,
Te,
unto you.
unto you.
Mat,
Mat,
my.
my.
Anugrahat,
Anugrahat,
by causeless mercy.
by causeless.
Translation. All of me, namely my actual eternal form, my transcendental existence, color, qualities, and activities, let all be awakened within you by actual realization out of my causeless mercy. So, this is very important slok. This slok is spoken by Lord himself. And Lord is telling Brahmaji, he is blessing him. Because from verse 31, we started reading the Chaturshloki Bhagavad. Actually, just beginning 2 shlokas are introduction to the Chaturshloki Bhagavad. And then 3 shloka after that, 33, 34, 35, and 36, they are the real Chaturshloki Bhagavad. And after that, till 39, it is still about the Chaturshloki Bhagavad. So 31 to 39, these 9 shlokas are about Chaturshloki Bhagavad, which is very important. All the shlokas are very important, and they were spoken by the Lord himself, those shlokas. And then Brahmaji expanded them. So I will read translation one more time, and then this purport is very big, actually 2.5 pages purport. So it will take a little while. And so what I will do, I will explain also in meanwhile rather than reading, going again to that. So wherever there is something, I will say, all of me, namely my actual eternal form. So Lord is saying that my eternal form and my transcendental existence, color, qualities, activity, Nam, Rupa, Gun, Leela, this all about his body, how it is external body. And so all these things, let all be awakened within you by factual realization. So Krishna is telling that it's not just the theoretical, but by the real knowledge. You should get the realization of all these things out of my causeless mercy. So we cannot understand anything without the causeless mercy of the Lord and his devotees, because somebody may read it 1,000 times, but he will not understand actually what is written here or what Krishna is trying to say. We have to have the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. So this mercy, actually, if we see the mercy, how we can get the mercy of the Lord, which is also very important thing. So the mercy of the Lord, actually, we can get it only by, for the mercy of the Lord, actually, we should have full faith in Krishna, first thing. If we don't have faith in Krishna, we cannot get the mercy of Krishna, actually. So faith is important. That's why Rupa Goswami says that faith is very important, and he put the first thing, the faith. So how we can get faith actually in Krishna? And faith comes from Mahat Seva and Satam Kripa. Satam Kripa means a Kripa by our spiritual master and elevated souls, elevated devotees. So their Kripa has to be there, and Mahat Seva, we have to serve the devotee. That's why Prabhupada never say that devotion, he said devotional service. So service is very important. So when we do the Mahat Seva, serving the great souls, when we do that, then by their mercy only, we could understand these things. So that way we will get faith. And once we get faith in Krishna, then three things are very important actually to get the mercy of the Lord. The first thing is we have to have intense desire to get the knowledge about Krishna. And we know about the Lord and everything. We read different books, but we have to have intense desire. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that we have to have greed. We have to be very greedy to learn, to know about the Supreme Lord. So once we have the desire, then Krishna will really start blessing us. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that you only need the greed to learn the things. You may not have proper bhakti, but once you have greed, your devotional service starts from there. And then we have to actually do hard work to fulfill that greed, to know about Krishna. So hard work is very important. Like Mother Yashoda, she worked very hard to catch the Krishna. So she had the desire to catch the Krishna, and then she worked hard. She was running behind with the stick, So she was doing, and when Krishna saw that really my mother is working hard, and he saw some drops of perspiration on the face of Mother Yashoda, then his heart melted. So Krishna wants to see that we really work hard for the bhakti. Otherwise, his heart will not melt. We have to melt Krishna's heart. And third thing is still, if we don't get pure bhakti, we don't develop any love for Krishna, then we have to do prayers. We have to pray the Supreme Lord that please give me your bhakti, give me shelter at your lotus feet. And once we do the prayers, so these things, intense desire, hard work, and prayers. So these things will get us to the mercy of the Lord. So we have to work hard for all these three things, and that way we can get some mercy of the Lord. Now I will read the purport. The secret in success in understanding the intricacies of knowledge of the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is causeless mercy of the Lord. So Prabhupada is very clearly writing that this is the secret actually to understand the knowledge of the Supreme Lord. How we can have the knowledge of the Supreme Lord? It comes only by the causeless mercy of the Lord himself. So without Lord's mercy, we cannot get the knowledge about the Lord. Even in the material world, the father of many sons discloses the secret of his position to the paid sons only. So whosoever is paid son of the father will tell him lot of secrets, where the hidden money is there and what one should do, and so many things father tells. If son is bad, he will never tell that thing to that son, because if the son knows, bad son will know, he will theft those money and then he will misuse it. So father says, why I should tell these things to my bad son? So similarly, Krishna will also not tell us the secret if we are bad sons or daughters of Lord. So we have to be good example, and then Krishna will be merciful to us. The father discloses the confidence unto the son whom he thinks worthy. So father thinks this is my worthy son, and let me tell him the secrets of my life and my money, my transactions. And so he will teach the son, who is worthy son. Not every son will get that. An important man in the social order can be known by his mercy only. So when somebody is very important in the society, VIPs, if we want to get their mercy only, we want to get something done. They will give the mercy only to the people if we know him properly. So that is important. Otherwise, not. The Lord is unlimited. Actually, so Lord has no boundary actually in anything. He has all the opulences in X, in the full. Om Purnamada Purnamadam Purnat Purnamadashate. So Krishna has all the things what he needs actually. He doesn't need anything from us. Like we offer him the bhoga and everything. It's out of love actually. It's not Krishna is hungry. Krishna is being served by so many gopis, Radharani, and like in the form of Lord Vishnu, he is actually he is served by so many thousands and thousands of Lakshmis. So Krishna doesn't have any problem, but out of love we do service and he mercifully accept that. So that is important actually, that Krishna is so merciful and his mercy will come only by his kripa only, when we serve the devotees and develop the faith in Krishna and we work hard, then we can know about the Krishna. The Lord is unlimited, so no one can know him completely. It's very hard to know the completely. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, Yo Mam Veti Tatvata Tatvadeham Param Janma Yes. So, but one advancement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord can make one eligible to know the Lord. So, if we do the transcendental advancement in the loving service of the Lord, we make progress in that, then we can be eligible to know about the Lord. Here we can see that Lord is sufficiently pleased with Brahmaji. So here in these shlokas we are seeing, that in the beginning Brahmaji was praying to the Lord, and now Lord is saying to Brahmaji that I am very pleased with you. So this way we can see that Brahmaji is eligible because of his services and his attitude, and therefore he offers his causeless mercy to him. So Brahmaji may have the factual realization of the Lord by his mercy only. So realization of the Lord, we may know about the Lord, but realization will never come. So for knowing or realizing the Lord in the heart, that what actually Lord is, we have to have the Lord's mercy, and Brahmaji is getting that mercy. In the Vedas also, it is said that a person cannot know the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, simply by the dint of mundane education or intellectual gymnastics. We may think, we may add this word or that word, word jugglery, but Krishna will not be happy with that. And so it is very important that to know the Lord, we don't need the simple mundane education, but we have to have the service towards the Lord. When we have the serving attitude of the Lord, then Lord will reveal himself to us by his causeless mercy. There is no causeless mercy. Why it is causeless mercy? Because there is no reason. We don't deserve it. Still Krishna gives us, if we are lucky and be like for Krishna's mercy, we should be eligible for Krishna's mercy, then Krishna will give us. Such a faithful person, even though literate, in the mundane sense, can know the Lord automatically by the mercy of the Lord. So even the Prabhupada is writing here that the person is faithful to the words of his Guru and Krishna, then even though he is uneducated, in the mundane sense, like he is not knowing Sanskrit words or shlokas and all those things, and such person can know the Lord automatically by the mercy of the Lord. So Lord will reveal him if it is very faithful. Like we read the example of a Brahman, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in South Indian tour. At that time, we see there was a Brahman who was reading Bhagavad Gita upside down. He didn't know, and all the tears were coming from his eyes. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asking that Brahman, you do not know Sanskrit and you are reading upside down. So what you like in Bhagavad Gita? So he said that, Lord, I'm just crying because I'm seeing the picture of Lord Krishna. He is the chariot driver of the Arjuna. How merciful is my Lord. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that you actually understood the tattva, real philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. So keep reading that. So he blessed him. So this is the way, even people illiterate, but if he becomes eligible for mercy of the Lord, then he can understand the real philosophy, real tattva in the spiritual knowledge. In the Bhagavad Gita also it is said that Lord reserves the right not to being exposed to everyone, and he keeps himself from the faithless by his yoga maya potency. So Lord actually conceals himself, he doesn't expose himself to everyone. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Naham prakasha sarvasva yoga maya samavrata mudoyam nabhijanati loko mam ajam avyayam. So Krishna is saying that I never manifest to the foolish people and faithless people or unintelligent people. For them, I am covered by my Yogmaya potency. So Krishna is actually covered by Yogmaya potency, but when we do bhakti, proper devotional service, then he exposes himself to us by his mercy. Therefore, they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. So people in general, general public who are not devotees, they will never know that Krishna is unborn. They think, that he is born from Mother Yashoda or Mother Devaki, and they do not know that he is infallible. There is no fall of Krishna. Krishna is always Krishna, Supreme Lord. So because sometimes Mayavadi says that Lord is impersonal and he just took the form just for time being, and then again he will be impersonal. So that's wrong philosophy actually. To the faithful, the Lord reveals himself in his form, quality, and pastime. So Lord shows about Nam, Rup, Gun, Lila, everything to his faithful devotees. Lord is not formless, is wrongly conceived by the impersonalist, but his form is not like one that we have experienced. So Lord has the form, but he doesn't have the material form. Lord's body is eternal. So even Krishna's body, if he doesn't take the shower, suppose for 1 year, 2 years, still it will give the fragrance. So even in the form of, he was in one of the form, even his stool was actually giving the fragrance 3-4 miles, in the whole area. So we can imagine how Supreme Lord, his body is quite different than our material body, which rots in 1 minute. Like even the person die, within few hours, it will start stinking. So this is the material body, but Lord's body is not like our body. Krishna comes in the same body from the Golok Vrindavan, and he goes also when he leaves this earth planet, then he goes to Golok Vrindavan again in the same body. He doesn't change body, he doesn't take birth actually, like we stay 9 months in the womb of the mother. Krishna doesn't stay 9 months in the womb of the mother, but he just comes, and that's why we say he appears rather than he takes a birth. The Lord is not formless, is wrongly conceived by impersonalists, but his form is not like one that we have experienced. The Lord discloses his form even to the extent of measurement to his pure devotees. So Lord can reveal himself completely to the extent of inch means, everything he can tell about him to the pure devotees. And that is the meaning of the Yavana, as explained by Jiva Goswami, the greatest scholar of Srimad Bhagavatam. The Lord discloses the transcendental nature of his experience, existence. The mundane wranglers make mundane conception of the form of the Lord. It is said in the revealed scripture that Lord has no mundane form. As we discussed, that Lord has the eternal form, not mundane form. Therefore, persons with poor fund of knowledge conclude that he must be formless. So the people in general, they just conclude that if the Lord doesn't have the form like us, then he must be formless. There should be no form like that. Because in their mind, they think the form should be like our form, otherwise he has no form. That's what they think. They cannot distinguish between the mundane form and the spiritual form. According to them, without a mundane form, one must be formless. That's what they think. This conclusion is also mundane because formlessness is opposite of conception of the form. So they cannot conclude like that, because the mundane form also mundane because formlessness is opposite of the conception of the form. So the formlessness is completely opposite of the form. So they should not think that way. This conclusion is also mundane because the formlessness is opposite conception of Lord. Negation of the mundane conception does not establish a transcendental fact. In Brahma Samhita, it is said that Lord has transcendental form and that he utilizes any one of his sense for his purpose. Like we read the first shloka of Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Param Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. So it says that the real form of Krishna, how Krishna is. And Krishna can utilize any form, any of his senses for any purpose. Like he can, like when we offer the food, he can eat by the eye, he need not to take in the hand and put in the mouth like we have to. Krishna need not to do that. He can walk from his ears, yeah, and he can see from his nose. Yeah, he can do anything like that because Krishna's form are all transcendental. So he can do anything from any part of the body. For example, he can eat with his eyes. He can see with his legs. In the mundane conception of the form, one cannot eat with one's eye or see with his leg. This is the difference between the mundane body and the spiritual body of Sat Chit Ananda. Krishna's body is Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat means eternal, Chit means full of bliss, and no, Ananda is full of bliss, Chit is full of knowledge. So Satchit Ananda means full of bliss, full of knowledge, and its eternal body. A spiritual body is not formless. It is a different type of body of which we cannot conceive with our present mundane senses. Formless, therefore, means conceive with our present mundane senses. Formless, therefore, means divide of mundane form. Formless means completely no form, divide of mundane form, or possessing a spiritual body of which the non-devotee can have no conception by the speculative method. So the non-devotees actually they cannot have any conception of the speculative by any speculative method about the spiritual body of the Lord. The Lord discloses to the devotees his unlimited varieties of transcendental bodies, all identical with one another with different kind of bodily features. So Supreme Lord discloses only to his pure devotees that what kind of body he has. He has unlimited different varieties of the body. Like we can see, Lord comes in the form of Matsya avatar, Varaha avatar. He takes all the form of aquatics, animals, and so all different with the lion, Narasimha avatar. So he takes a different kind of avatars and the different kind of features, different kind of body features. Some of the transcendental bodies of the Lord are blackish, some of them are whitish, some of them are reddish, some of them are yellowish. So in the different yugas, he takes different like Satyuga, he comes in white form, in Hansa avatar, in Treta Yuga, he comes in like Lord Ramchandra, and he comes with the bluish form, and or blackish form. In Dwapar Yuga is Lord Krishna, and in Kali Yuga he comes in the yellow form, like we have Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there are different colors of the Lord, and he reveals these things to his devotees. Shri Radha Sharat Bihari ki jai. All these different transcendental bodies of the Lord, without any different categories, are disclosed to the devotees of the Lord by the mercy of the Lord. And thus, the imperialist false argument claiming the formlessness of the Supreme Lord, Supreme Truth, do not appeal to the devotees of the Lord. So, devotees of the Lord doesn't like to hear that Lord has no form. Even though such a devotee may not be very advanced in devotional service, although it may be neophyte devotee, still he will not like to hear that Lord has no form, because by all argument and by all the textbooks, the devotional textbooks, we can understand, Vedic knowledge, that Lord has the form. The Lord has unlimited number of the transcendental qualities, and one of them is affection for his unallied devotees. So this is the Lord has many, many qualities in full quantities. Because we also have some qualities as Supreme Lord, like Supreme Lord has 64 qualities. Krishna has 64 qualities, and we as a human being, we have 50. Only in very little, minute form. Krishna has in full. Brahmaji also has 50. Like the Lord Shiva has 55, Lord Vishnu has 60. And four special qualities only Krishna has, nobody else has it. In the history of the mundane world, we can appreciate his transcendental qualities. The Lord incarnates himself for the protection of his devotees and for annihilation of the faithless. So Lord comes actually, we know that Pavitranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Diskritam Dharma Sansthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuga Yuga. So every Yuga Krishna comes, to kill the faithless people and to protect the devotees and encourage them and to claim them, take them back to his Golok Vrindavan. So that's why Krishna comes here. The Lord incarnates himself for the protection of his devotees and annihilation of the faithless. The activities are in relation with his devotees. So Krishna wants his activities with his devotees only. So we can see when Krishna comes to this material world in the Vrindavan Dham, he comes with his all the friends and the devotees, everyone in Vrindavan at that time was only devotee, Most of the devotees came from the Golok Vrindavan himself. Krishna, nobody else can participate. Some came from Devlok also, some incarnate from the devotees also who were sadhana siddha. So many people came when Krishna performed his Leela here. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of such activity of the Lord in relationship with the devotee. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, we see from 1 chapter to 9 chapter, all about the Krishna's devotee, how they approached Krishna and how they received Krishna's mercy. So that's the way we can know the actual position of Krishna. So chapter 1 to 9, we can read all about the devotees. And chapter 10 has 90 chapters, which is all about the Krishna Leela. And very, very, very nice and sweet nectarian Leelas we can read in the chapter 10, but we should not directly start reading chapter 10. We should start from 1 to 9, slowly, and then go to 10. Then we can understand the real position and how we can get the mercy of Krishna. Then we can understand the Leela of the Supreme Lord. And the non-devotees have no knowledge of such pastimes. The Lord lifted the Govardhan hill when he was only 7 years old and protected his pure devotees at Vrindavan from the wrath of Indra. So Indra was very angry because Lord Krishna stopped his puja and said that rather than Indra puja, you do the Govardhan puja, because Govardhan hill is giving all our cows nice grass, and everything comes from him. We do the agriculture and everything at the hills, downhills of the Govardhan, so actually Govardhan is giving us everything. So he stopped Indra puja, and Indra was very angry, and he actually gave all lot of rain and tornadoes and all those things. And Krishna told all the Brajvasis that come underneath the Govardhan, and I'm lifting it with my small pinky finger. So Krishna did that. He was only 7 years old, but Lord is very strong. Right from the beginning, we can see that he killed Putna when Krishna was only 3 days old, and Putna was like 14 feet tall, 14 mile tall, not feet. So we can imagine, how strength Krishna has and what he can do even as a little child. Indra was over flooding the place with his rain and all the wind and everything. Now, this lifting of the Govardhan hill by 7 year old boy may be unbelievable for the faithless. If person is faithless, doesn't have full faith in the Supreme Lord, then people may say, oh, this is just a story, how 7 year old boy can lift so big mountain, it's very impossible. So that's why people may think, but for a devotee, it is absolutely believable. Because when it is Krishna Leela, devotees believe that this is all actually happen, it's not just a story like that. The devotees believe in the almighty potency of the Lord, while the faithless say that the Lord is almighty, but do not believe it. He say Lord may be almighty, but they don't believe in that. So this is their unluck, bad fortune. Such men with the poor fund of knowledge do not know the Lord is the Lord eternally, and that one cannot become the Lord by meditation for millions of years or by mental speculation for billions of the years. So Prabhupada is writing here very clearly that no man can take the position of Lord. Somebody may meditate for millions and billions of years. It's not going to help, He cannot take the Lord's position. The impersonal interpretation of the mundane wrangler is completely refuted in this verse because it clearly stated here that Supreme Lord has his qualities, form, pastimes, and everything that a person has. So why, when we can become the person in the form, then why they say Lord is formless, That's completely wrong. And Lord did so many leelas and he has so many qualities. So how, without a person, how the formless person can have all these qualities? All these descriptions of his transcendental nature of the personality of Godhead are factual realization by the devotees of the Lord. So, and devotees actually, who are the real devotees, they can have those spiritual realization of all the Lord Leelas and all the pastimes, they really happen. Like we say, Krishna was playing with Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba. So these things happen. It's not just a story like that. And by the causeless mercy of the Lord, they are revealed to his pure devotees and to no one else. So Krishna reveals only to his pure devotees. And no one else can know these things. So I will talk about 10 minutes for the next. We are going next shloka is Chaturshloki Bhagavat and introduction 31 and 32 shloka. So how the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam came actually, when Brahmaji was praying for the knowledge, real knowledge to Lord Krishna, and Krishna revealed knowledge when he was saying tapa, tapa. So he gave the knowledge to the Brahmaji, and he gave these 4 seed shloka to Brahmaji. We have the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam also, and we have Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita also. So Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita actually is not the seed verses. They are very important verses which can give all the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita in those 4 shlokas. But these 4 shlokas, what we are going to start from tomorrow, they are the seed verses given by the Lord, and whole Srimad Bhagavatam was expanded from these 4 shlokas. So these 4 shlokas from in Bhagavatam are very, very important. It's not just something. And we have read already those questions by Brahmaji to the Supreme Lord. In verse number 26 of this chapter, we read he asked the question to the Lord that please tell me about your material and spiritual forms. So Brahmaji was asking Supreme Lord that please tell me about your different form in this material and your spiritual form. So the answer is given in the shlok number 33, the first shlok of Chatra Shloki Bhagavatam. And next he asked about the different energies, whatever Supreme Lord has, spiritual energy and material energy. So, and how they are working in this material world. So this question is given in 27 and 28 verses of this chapter, and the answer is given in the verse number 34, which is the second verse of the Chaturshloki Bhagavad. And third question, Brahmaji is asking about the activities of the Lord. What kind of leelas Krishna is performing? What are your activities in relation to material and spiritual energies, in relation to your energies, And the answer is given in Chaturshloki Bhagavad in the third shloka or verse number 35. And also Brahmaji is asking in the verse number 29 and 30 about that please bestow your mercy for my execution of your instructions without pride and bondage. So most of the time when we become a pure devotee, good devotee, sometimes the pride comes in and we get more bondage to this material world. So that's why he is asking that you please bestow your mercy so I can understand your all the activity, Nam, Rupa, Gun, Lila, everything, and I can execute my devotional service according to your instructions. Krishna has given so many instructions in Bhagavad Gita. So Brahmaji is requesting him that I can execute your service. You please bless me. Give me your mercy for that. And I should not get any pride. That's what also we should request to the Lord, that I should not get any pride when we do. We should not have, oh, I'm president of the temple, I'm the GBC, or I am this or that. That pride we should not have it. We should do this in the mood of service, real mood of service, thinking ourselves as Tranada Pisuni Chena Taro Revasashanam. That's why Radhanath Maharaj says that all the time we should put the garland of the shlokas in our neck and all the time wear it so we can understand this philosophy that what is our real position. We are servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Lord. So our position is like that. So these questions were asked before, and in yesterday's verse, what we read yesterday, verse number 33, then Supreme Lord is telling that what I'm going to speak. So he's saying that I will speak about Jnanam, which is the most secret knowledge of my form. So about the form he is speaking in verse number first verse of the Chaturshloki Bhagavad. And Vijnanam, what is Vijnanam? When we have the knowledge of the Lord, we have to put it practically in our life, because knowledge just goes, if we don't practice that knowledge, what good it is? So we have to realize this knowledge. Realize the knowledge is very important than just knowledge, because just knowledge may be mundane knowledge, doesn't help us. So realize knowledge is very important. So about that, Krishna is saying realization of the form of the Lord. So that is in the verse number 34. Verse number 35 says Sarahasya, about the prema bhakti of the Lord, which is given in the verse number third verse of Chaturshloki Bhagavad. And Tad Angam is the sadhana bhakti, anga of the bhakti, 9 anga bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, all these things, Sakyam, Atmanevedana. So all these things actually comes under the sadhana bhakti. So in the previous shloka, last shloka actually, we read about Jnanam, Vijnanam, Saharasham and Tad Angam. So these things actually go with the philosophy of Srimad Bhagavatam about the Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojan. These three things. So first two verses, first two, Gyan and Vijnana, they go to the Sambandha, Gyan. And then Tadangam goes with the Sadhana Bhakti, and which is the how we actually do the Abhideya, how to achieve the Lord. Sambandha is we have to for the relationship with the Lord, but how to practically do it, that's sadhana bhakti, that's abhideya. And prayojan is the Krishna, as achieve the Krishna praise, that's a prayojan, and which is given in the Sarashtra, which is the how we can get the prema bhakti. So this way actually we can know about the Lord, everything, how this is the whole bhakti. Sambandha abhideya and prayojan is the whole bhakti, whole process of bhakti actually, and the whole Bhagavatam is gives all this knowledge. And in today's verse we read, by my mercy, you may attain perfect realization of the details of my form, quality, and pastime. So, Krishna, Brahmaji, Lord is telling to Brahmaji that you will get all this knowledge about my form and my activities, my qualities, my pastimes, all these things you will know all these things in truth by realization only. So actually mercy is very, very important of the Lord, and getting mercy is also very important. So about this shloka, Jiva Goswami comments very nicely in the Bhagavad Sandarbha. So I will like to read the Jiva Goswami's commentary on this verse, and then I will tell few things about the mercy, how we can get the mercy of the Lord, and then we will close today's class. Oh, all of me, my actual eternal form and transcendental existence, my color, qualities, and activities, let it all be awakened in you by factual realization, not just by knowledge, and by my causeless mercy. So, Lord is telling that this all will be known to you. Brahmaji, everything I will reveal to you, and it will be giving you the factual realization by my mercy. So, for us, it is very important that only by Lord's mercy we can know about the Lord. Otherwise, we cannot know the Lord. Thus, the Lord says, may my sense and extent, characteristics, visible form, such as my form with dark blue complexion and my form with four arms, like Krishna has dark blue complexion, Krishna has four arms, sometimes he has two arms, so we can know his different form, his qualities, such as my concern for my devotees. So this is the Krishna's great quality, that he has so much concern about his devotees. Krishna all the time worries about his devotees. And we see how many times Krishna has helped his devotees all the time, like Ambrish Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. We can see the history, how much his father was bothering him. For each extent, he was throwing him from the mountain. He was giving all kind of trouble. But still, Prahlad Maharaj has full faith in Lord, and Lord help him. Like Draupadi, you can see that Queen Draupadi actually how she was saved, given the sari, unlimited sari. And till Draupadi was lifted her, she was believing in her that I will hold it, my sari. So till that time Krishna didn't supply. But when she lifted and said, Govinda, Govinda, Krishna immediately start sending the sari. So this is the Lord's mercy upon his devotees. So Lord takes care of everything. And Krishna promised that whatever they are lacking, I will fulfill that. So we have to have full faith in Krishna's words that we need not to worry about us. Krishna will take care, but we have to just do maximum of our capability. Whatever we have, we should perform our bhakti. May you gain all this by my favor. So Krishna is favoring him, Brahmaji, that he can hear the blessing for the realization is obvious, and there is also a blessing in connection with the Rahasya. What Rahasya? The most secret, confidential sense, because the supreme blissful direct perception of these matters necessarily gives rise to pure love. Because the secret leelas of the Lord, the confidential sense of the Lord's leela, actually they are so blissful actually, and they give the conception how the Lord is actually. We can get proper conception of that. in proper perception of those leelas, actual gyan. So now from tomorrow, we will start reading the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, which is very important, and we have to listen it very, very carefully, because these are the seed verses, and in these 4 verses, actually whole philosophy of Srimad Bhagavatam is given. So we have to be very attentive in hearing, and if we hear properly and discuss about it, it will be very, very helpful in our sadhana. So I will, still 5 minutes are left. So what I will do, I will just give the nutshell of the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, and then we will end. So these are the seed verses of Bhagavatam, and in response to Parikshit Maharaj's question, in Canto 2, Parikshit Maharaj, Canto 2, Chapter 9 of this book. So Sukdev Goswami actually quotes a conversation of Krishna and Lord Brahma, in which the force. So this actually comes about when Sukdev Goswami is describing, but this is the actual description of between the Lord Krishna and Brahmaji. So this is the actual conversation between them. But in Bhagavatam, we read that Sukdev Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj, because Parikshit Maharaj asked him many questions about this. Many acharyas have explained in their commentaries, in their work, as to how these 4 verses are the basis of the entire spiritual philosophy. So this is not just Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or anything. Entire spiritual philosophy comes from these shlokas. So we can imagine how important these shlokas are. The following is the study of the 4 shlokas of the verses of Bhagavatam, and which we are going to read. And they corresponded, as I told already, with the sambandha, which is the relationship with the Lord, abhideya, the process of the sadhana bhakti, and prayojan, the goal, Krishna prem. So these 4 verses correspondence with the, completely correspond with the 4 verses of the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. The first 2 correspondent with 33 and 34. They correspond with the Sunday, with the Sambandha. Then 36 verse with the process Abhideya, which is the Sadhana Bhakti. And the last, the middle shlok, the 35th number shlok is the Prayojan, Krishna Prem. So that's what is Mool Shloka. And even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnaraj Kaviraj also describes these verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita in very much detail. Actually, when the resident of Varanasi was asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about this, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained them to the Varanasi devotees there, and gave a very detailed description about it. And Krishnaraj Kaviraj actually explained in the Madhya Lila, chapter 25. And he tells that Chatushloki Bhagavatam is the essence of all 3 tattvas, Sambandha Videha. So there is shloka in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, our relationship with the Supreme Lord, our activities in that connection, and the goal of life is manifest in the 4 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, known as Chatushloki Bhagavat. Everything is explained in these verses. Bhagavatera Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana Chaturshlokite Prakrata Tara Kariyache Lakshana. So this shloka is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described what is the Sambandha. Sambandha is the knowledge about the Lord, Jnana, and practical application of that knowledge. That's a Vijnana. And then Abhideya is the practice of the devotional service, which is the Sadhana Bhakti. And then Prayojan is the love of God, Prema Bhakti. Similarly, Lord Krishna too has given this introduction before speaking to 4 Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why in 31 number shloka what we read yesterday, Krishna says, Jnanam Prema Guhyam me Yad Vijnanam Samanvitam Sarahasham Tadangam Sagrahan Gaditam Maya. So knowledge about me as described in the scripture is very confidential and it has to be realized in conjunction with the devotional service. So when we perform a devotional service, then actually we can have the realized knowledge. Otherwise, we can read the shloka, but we don't have the realized knowledge. Realized knowledge will come when we perform sadhana bhakti. And then the necessary paraphernalia for the process is being explained by me. So this is the Jnanam, Vijnanam, Sarasham, and Tadangam. These are the four main things, and these four things are in the next four verses, what we are going to read. So it's 3 more minutes left, so we can have any questions anybody has. Thank you very much for listening. Hare Krishna. Anyone has any question? Yes, Mataji.
The very important started from 33, 34, 35. And I'm just wondering why you put a lot of emphasis on this fourth sloka? What the reason?
Because they are the direct shloka from the Supreme Lord.
Spoken directly
By the Lord, and Lord gives us these. That's why they are known as seed verses. So seed verses means these are the seed. Like when we put the plant of the burger tree, and then whole big tree comes, So these are the. Then Brahmaji actually explained this shloka, expanded in 18,000 shlokas. So whole Bhagavatam came from these 4 shloka. So this is the primary knowledge.
Krishna himself
Yes.
or Narayan?
Krishna himself in the Narayan is Krishna actually, Vishnu is also form of Narayan. So they are different form of Krishna. Narayan or Vishnu, whosoever spoke, but it's a Krishna, of course. Yeah. Chaitanya, take out the wires. So somebody want to ask any question? Hare Krishna. Anybody on Zoom has any question? Please ask.
Hare Krishna Babu. Dandavad Pranam.
So we will end here. Vancha kalpatru कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai.